Hi everyone, it's Amy, one of your registered dietitians. I'm excited to have you guys back with me for another Kids Cook at Home virtual class. We've had a few of them so far. Great responses from all of you. We love seeing the pictures on social media, so keep sharing those. And today we are excited because even dietitians like Halloween. So myself and Emily, our other registered dietitian, we love Halloween, we love chocolate, we love pumpkin, we love all things Halloween and sweet treats. So today we're gonna have a little bit of fun with some more sweet treat Halloween themed recipes for our Kids Cook at Home virtual class. So again, we hope you guys are enjoying these classes. Continue to register for our upcoming classes and provide feedback because we want to continue to make these classes even better for all of you as well. So we are making two recipes today like we always do. Our first one is our spooky spider bites. So lots of chocolate, a little bit of candy, and a lot of good tasting treats. And then our second recipe that we are making are pumpkin brownie bars. So if you like brownies, trust me, you're gonna like these ones as well. So we're gonna get going with making those. We're going to do our spooky spider bites first. But of course, we're gonna wash our hands and then we'll walk through some of the ingredients that we're using and then we will go ahead and get started. All right, so for our first step in this recipe, we are going to be melting our chocolate chips. So you can do it in a double boiler if you wanna be a little bit more fancy. For me, I'm all about simplicity and using the microwave to melt my chocolate chips. So we have between 1/4 cup and 1/2 cup of chocolate chips. Just be very careful when you are heating these in the microwave. Start by putting them in for about 30 seconds and then stirring, but this dish will get hot. So if you have little ones, be sure that they're using an oven mitt or some sort of towel just to be sure that we're not burning our hands. So heat this in the microwave for about 30 seconds, give it a stir, and then after that, just do about 10 to 15 seconds until they are well melted. All right, so I have my chocolate melted. Just make sure all of your chocolate chips are melted through, which they are, so that's looking good. So I'm just gonna take my spatula and we'll just set it on the side of my cutting board. So again, really easy step, just be sure that your dish isn't too hot. The next step is we are going to actually take these Enjoy Life chewy bars and open them up, and with 2 bars, we can make 4 spiders because each bar is gonna make about 2. So we're just gonna open them up. And again, your hands are clean. So, but what you're going to do is you're just going to cut the bar in half. You can also break it with your fingers. And this is where the fun part comes in. So of course, make sure your hands are clean, but you're just going to take these chewy bars and you're going to squish them together to make little balls. So you have to use kind of a decent amount of pressure. They don't need to be perfect, but as you can see, they make fun little ball size. So we're just gonna do that to both of these. Okay, so we got that done. And then your next step is we need to make some legs for our spiders. So again, like I said, you can use black licorice, you can use pull and peel, which would probably be even easier, but we just have regular licorice twists on hand. So what you're going to do is you're going to cut them in about 1 inch or so pieces. So again, always when you're working with a knife, be sure that an adult is helping you, but also be sure to keep your fingers out of the way. So I'm just going to hang on to my knife, make sure my hands are holding the licorice, but they're farther back. And we're just going to slice through. So we're just gonna make probably about 3 1-inch sections. And if they're a little bit bigger, that's okay. So put that extra to the side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut each of these 1-inch pieces into 2. So we want 6 legs. Right now we have 3 fat ones. We want 6 skinny ones. So, you know, because it's a smaller piece, be very careful where your hands are. So what I like to do is I like to take my knife and just kind of put it halfway to cut them, because we're going to cut them hot dog style or cut them the long way. And then you're going to push down, put your knife down, and now you have 2 smaller pieces. So we're going to do that for these next 2 pieces as well. So now that we have our legs cut, we are going to start building our spider. So we're going to use our plate to kind of be that main foundation for it. So we're going to lay our 6 legs out so that they all are kind of touching a point, and then we'll put our spider on top of that. So the next step is to take our chewy granola bars, or these chewy bars, and we are going to dip them in chocolate. Now, you can either dunk the whole thing in if you want a lot of chocolate, or you can just dunk about half of them. So, I'm just gonna dunk about half of it. Hopefully I don't drop it all in there. Nice and melted chocolate. And you're going to set it right on top of our spider legs. So that's for one spider. I'm going to go ahead and now cut more licorice for my second spider. And then once you're done with these, you can actually refrigerate them for about half hour or so. The chocolate will start to harden, and they make just a great easy snack or a dessert. And so it'll be a really fun option. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish making these, and you guys can do the same. All right, everyone, welcome back to our second recipe for today's Virtual Kids Cook at Home class. If you've tried your spooky spider bites, I hope you enjoyed them. If they're still in the fridge, I promise they'll taste great later. But this next recipe that we're doing is a baking recipe. So we are going to be using the oven, and we're going to be testing out some new ingredients and some new cooking or baking skills, I should say, and really practicing a lot of measuring, because measuring is very important, especially when you're baking. So first things that I have already done that you guys can go ahead and do is preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And always remember that a parent needs to be present when you guys are cooking with an oven, just because it does involve heat and we need to be very careful while we're cooking. Next, I'm just going to wash my hands, and then we're going to go ahead. I'll talk a little bit about the ingredients that we're using, and then we'll go ahead and get started, because this will be a fun, great recipe that I think you guys will really love. The first part is to really make this brownie mix, so we're going to go ahead and start doing that. I always recommend when the brownie mix that you're choosing to use, just follow the directions on the back of the box on how to make it, because that's really the first step in this whole process. So on the back of this box, we are using the mix or the powder that came with it. So I've already dumped that into my mixing bowl. And then we need a half a cup of oil. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, hands are clean. I've got no shells in there. Like I said, it took me years of practice, but it's a great activity. Fairly inexpensive activity if you're looking for your kids to develop a new skill and just practice cracking a dozen eggs or so. All right, so this is all we need for the brownie mix. That's just kind of going by what's on the back of the box. And you're going to just take your spatula, be sure that your eggs get beaten up, and then you're going to just mix them all together. So I'm going to just add my mix into here. And then you can just take the back of your spatula. And like I said, if you're using a 9x13, the brownies might end up a little bit thinner. An 8x8 would make them a little bit thicker. All right, so I'm going to pop these in the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. We don't want them cooked all the way because we are going to add our pumpkin filling on the top, but we'll pop these in and then we will get started on the pumpkin filling. All right, for the pumpkin mixture, like I mentioned, we're going to have a few other supplies. So we have our bowl, our can opener, and then another spatula. You're welcome to wash the other one, but just because there was raw egg on there, I don't like to reuse it unless it's clean. But we're gonna start by opening up a can of pumpkin puree. So you can go ahead and do that. This is a 15 ounce container, and we only need about 1 1/4 cup of pumpkin. So we're gonna use just over half of this. And then I'm going to just dump in about half, a little over. Okay. So we'll save this for another recipe. I'm just going to put this off to the side for now. The next thing that we are going to do is add in about 1/4 cup of maple syrup. So again, I'm going to use my measuring cups. They're kind of all over. I keep mine together, but you're welcome to separate them. So 1/4 cup. If you don't have maple syrup on hand, you can also use honey in place of it. And you're just going to set these. So again, back to our pumpkin filling though. We have our pumpkin puree, we have our maple syrup. Now we are just going to add in about 1/4 cup of, we're using a gluten-free flour today, but of course you can use whatever you would like on hand. That is it for this pumpkin mix. So take my spatula back and we are just going to mix this part together. So now we just need to work on adding this into our brownie mix. So we're gonna go ahead and do that next. Have our pumpkin mixture onto our batter, but again, the pan is really hot still, so do it carefully and you can just have fun with it. And the brownies are par baked, which means that they're slightly baked, but they're not baked all the way, so we still have more to bake. And we're just trying to put them in different spots. Again, you guys can make designs with this or whatnot. But now I am just going to grab my oven mitt so that I can hold my pan. And then I am just going to do some designs. The goal is to just slightly mix it in with the partially baked brownies. All right, so I think that looks good. I'm going to just go back and we are going to bake this a little bit longer. So we'll go ahead and put that in the oven. All right, guys, well, that's what we have for today's virtual Kids Cook at Home class. I hope you guys really enjoyed these recipes as much as I did and had some fun along the way. And if you messed up, that's okay. Always remember that, we'd love to see the pictures of what you guys made, so definitely share those on social media, tag us, and then use the hashtag Kids Cook at Home so that we can see your masterpieces. Other than that, I just always like to remind you that you can find upcoming classes, more kid-friendly recipes, and more resources for parents on our website at www.celebratemore.com/kidscookathome. Thanks, guys. See you next time.